everyone. This is Misha Houston, and I'm here to do my review of If Loving You Was Wrong. Tonight's episode is entitled In Distress. And it was an okay episode. It was better than the first two. There weren't any glaring, mistakes that I saw, and it was entertaining. So it was better than last week, and I appreciate it. So thank you so much. The first group of people we go to is Natalie and Justice. Justice has confessed to Natalie about killing Ramsey. Natalie is shocked by the confession and cannot believe it, but Justice says he killed him and wanted Natalie to call the police. She asks him, "How do you know about Ramsey and how did you do it?" He says that he stabbed Ramsey with a knife from his mother's kitchen. Justice says that he was in the house and in the shower and he stabbed him. Natalie says that he is so much bigger than him, and Justice says that he just wants his mother to come home. Justice continues to say that he did it, even though Natalie says that he was a grown man and Justice was a child. And Justice expects for Natalie to call the police so they can let his mother out. Natalie says that she will, and they will be asking a lot of questions. Justice is obviously lying. I believe that he's lying, to get his mother back and out of prison. But Natalie is thrown off and put off by the confession, and I think she believes it. Then she asks Justice a series of questions. She asks him, does Justice remember what happened and how did he get into the house and was the door unlocked? And he answers the questions as best as he can. He says he doesn't remember when it happened and he came in through the back door. He says that his mother didn't do it. He keeps saying that his mother didn't do it. And Natalie says, okay, and she will call the police. She then calls Lushion on her cell phone. She wants to talk to him about Justice. She says it's very important, but Lushion says that he'll be home as soon as he can. Then Natalie goes back to Justice, thinks about putting him back in the room where he was sleeping, but thinks better of it and puts him on the couch away from her other children. As I said before, I believe that he's lying about this, and it's pretty much him lying to just get his mother out of prison. That's what I think this is all about. And I think that he was on the phone with Travis. I think Travis was calling him, telling him that, oh, you can get your mother out of prison if you say that you killed him. So, I mean, I really think that this is all a lie. I think Travis put him up to it. And we're going to have to see later on what's what. But that's just my theory. The next three people we go to is Stephen, Lushion, and Ian Glenn. Ian, everyone's favorite lawyer. Lushion is going through business cards and he's asking Stephen, what's the name of that firm we used in that Reynolds case? Stephen answers the name of the firm was Conley, Ross, and Glenn. Lushion finds out, he finds and rummages through the stack of cards and he finds it. And then he tells Stephen that I want to call a lawyer for Kelly. And he's calling in, for Kelly's case. Lushion believes that Kelly is innocent and Lushion is getting a lawyer for Kelly. Stephen asks, do you think she's innocent? And he says yes. He thinks that all of the evidence was planted. Then Lushion says that he goes to make the call. And but Stephen, doesn't really believe that Kelly is innocent based on all of the evidence. But as I said before, Lushion believes that it's planted, and so do I. So he calls up Ian, who is at the restaurant, and he's having dinner. He thanks Ian for his help on the Reynolds case and asks him to come down to the station. Lushion says that there's a woman down here who's being falsely accused of murder. Ian asks if she is truly innocent, and Lushion says that I think that she is. Ian says okay, and he says he'll be over there, in the morning. Lucian says that she's has a son that is staying with us, and we're trying to get her out as quickly as possible. So he wants Ian to come on down to the station right now. Ian says that he is having dinner, but he agrees since because he's trying to keep a promise that he made, and so he agrees to come down there right now. He thanks him again, and then they both hang up. And then, but before they hang up, he asks Lucian what's the name of the judge and the DA. He doesn't know the name of the judge, but Lucian says that her name is Jan Wallace Ross. Uh, I guess that's the name of the DA Jan. And then they all hang up, and then Ian leaves the restaurant where he's having dinner and makes his way over to the police station. I figured as much that Ian would be Kelly's lawyer. I mean, she's obviously being framed, and she's being framed by Travis, and she needs a good lawyer. And then in comes Ian. I mean, I was pretty sure that Ian was going to be her lawyer, and apparently my guess was right. The next two people we go to is Esperanza and Lucian. Esperanza comes flouncing in with her too tight skirts and her too tight shirts and her 4-inch heels, and she walks over to Lucian, and she asks him, "Have you spoken to Kelly yet? And how is she doing?" And Lucian says that she is all right, and I have spoken with her. She's just left. She says that she just left Natalie's house, and they were talking to each other, and she said that Justice isn't doing well. Lucian asks if she is going on to work, and Esperanza says yes, but she wanted to check on Kelly. Lucian then asks her to find out about a 911 call. She agrees, and then she asks, what is that? What do you want me to do this for? What is this all about? Lucian responds saying that the DA has a tape of Ramsey, asking for help and saying Kelly's name. Seeing, as Esperanza works in the call center, Lucian wants her to get to the bottom of this. Lucian said that he doesn't really know what's going on, but he just wants Esperanza to go in and check this out, and she agrees to do so. Lucian asks her to keep this on the quiet, and she agrees to do that. And she says she'll come back, later with some kind of answer, as for his question and his inquiry. Lucian then says that Eddie was arrested, and Esperanza said, "I knew that this would happen one day. All these bad things will catch up to him," and she knew that he would be arrested one day. She says that it is sad and that he's the father of her daughter, and she says that she understands, what has to be done. Esperanza, says she knows that he's done horrible things, but she doesn't know, the specifics of the case. She doesn't know exactly what he's done, but she knows that he's a bad man. Lucian says the FBI has him now, so they obviously have federal charges on him. He then asks how long has she known him, and Esperanza says that she only knew him he left after he left after Cincinnati, which was a few years. She only met Eddie afterwards, but there is someone who might know. She says that there's a man named Jonathan, aka Chaos, and she believes that they were really tight with each other, and maybe that he can provide some kind of help. And she also says that she doesn't know, what his last name is, and she doesn't know exactly where to find him. Lucian says that he is in the interrogation room, and he wants Esperanza to go in there and, to try to see if he'll give up some information to incriminate himself, so Lucian can use it all against him. And she agrees to do that. The next four people we go to is Brad, Alex, Marcy, and Randall. Oh, these four. I'm so over this storyline, guys. I'm so over it. Hit me up in the comments if you agree with me. Alex wakes up, you know, to Brad's cell phone buzzing, and it is from Marcy. And she is obviously not pleased that Marcy, has contacted Brad. She believes that he doesn't really care about her and because he came back home to his wife. But Alex needs to realize that they are still friends. Brad comes from the bathroom and he answers the phone. It is Marcy and she says she needs him. Brad says we've talked about this already, but she says it's not about that. She says that she has a flat tire and she called for a tow truck, but it will take about a couple of hours for them to get there to her. She says she has no one else to call and she would have done it herself, but the doctor said that she's not supposed to lift anything heavy. Brad agrees to come, and Alex is very unhappy that Brad is going to change her tire. And Alex thinks that it is all a lie, but we all know that it is true. Brad asks, "What do you expect me to do? Just leave her there on the side of the road?" I mean, he tells her that I'll be back very soon. Alex then realizes that Brad does very much care for Marcy. Alex says that she knows that this is unfair, but it hurts for him to go, to help her in the middle of the night. Brad says again that he'll be right back. Alex insists on going with him, and then Brad says, "You want to get up the kids, get them dressed, get them in the car, and just to just to go and watch me fix a tire." Brad doesn't, doesn't want that at all. He's determined to go, but Alex, is giving him a hard time about that. Alex says that she will show Marcy that Brad is hers. She would do all of that just to show Marcy that Brad has returned to her. Brad says that she knows that and that he tells her that every time they see each other. Alex says that she is the one who needs to be reminded. Brad says that we're trying to work this out and you're going to have to be patient. There was a lot of damage done. And Alex says that she knows that it is her fault and that she's trying. Brad says that he is committed to working on us and getting us back on the right track, and that it's over between him and Marcy, and that he loves Alex and not Marcy. Alex fears that she's not going to stop, and she wonders why couldn't she just call for a tow truck. And Brad says that she did call for a tow truck, but it would take about 2 hours for her to get there. He says that he can get there under an hour and change the tire and get her on her way. Alex doesn't like it, but she eventually relents, saying that she will wait up for her. Brad leaves, and as Brad leaves outside of the house, the motion detector goes off on Randall's phone, and then Randall runs outside of the house to harass Brad. And Randall says that you're leaving already. She must not be satisfied. Brad says that he didn't you see the video of her and Marcy, him and Marcy in the shed? And Randall says, "Oh yeah, but she's just a good faker." Well, Brad says, she must be a good faker because she's been with you all these years. Brad says, "Did you see the video of me and Marcy on your bed?" And then he pulls out his phone, sends a message to Randall's phone, and then he pretty much says, "Enjoy it," and then leaves, leaving Randall with a scornful look on his face. The next two people we go to is Lushion and Ian. It's a very short scene. Ian is at the police station when Lushion comes in. He says that he's waiting on a judge friend of his to grant her bail. Lushion says that is great and that she is in the interrogation room. Ian asks him again, "Do you really think Kelly is responsible for this?" And Lushion says, "I will stake my reputation on this." He does believe that Kelly is innocent, which I believe as well. Ian says okay, and that Lushion is going to, yeah, that Lushion wants to go and talk to her, and Ian will see for himself, that she is innocent. He says okay, and then he's, says, I hope so. I hope that she's innocent. And then he leaves. We go right into Kelly and Ian. Ian comes into the interrogation room and introduces himself as Kelly's lawyer. The lawyer that was called by Lushion. She immediately tells him from the beginning that she did not do this, and he asked what did she tell them and what kind of questions did they ask, and she tries to answer his questions as best as she can. She said that the DA was questioning her and trying to get information, and she says that she had no idea what was going on. She asked him, "How much longer do I have to be here? I want to go home and see my son." Ian says that it may not be for a while because they're going to search her house. Ian offers to bring Justice to the police station, but Kelly is adamantly against that. She doesn't want him to be at the police station. She wants to go home to her son. As I said before, they're going to be searching her house, so you won't be as quick as a snap that she gets out of there, because they do have to conduct a thorough search. And he also asked her, "Is there anything in the house that would connect you to Ramsey?" And she says no. She says no, that she did not do this, and she's telling him that I'm innocent. I didn't do this. This isn't my fault. She's being set up. Kelly is hurt and she's heartbroken, and she says that this is a nightmare. Ian wants her to calm down, and she tells him that she's trying to keep it all together. She's concerned that she may lose her job, she may lose everything because of this. Ian tells her that it's going to be okay and she needs to be patient. She says she's trying the best she can, and that she's trying. She's just trying her best to try to get through this. Ian says, just start from the beginning and tell me everything about the victim and not to leave anything out. So we do know that Ian is going to be Kelly's lawyer, and he's trying his best. But I have to say this one thing: will he continue to be her lawyer, knowing that she has no money? I mean, some lawyers take pro bono cases, on a case by case basis. But I don't know if a shyster like him is going to be willing to work for free for this one. I'm not quite sure what's going to happen here with this. Okay, we have a short scene with Alex, the baby, and Randall. Alex is with the baby, and then she hears loud music playing from outside. She looks out of her window and she sees Randall dancing and laughing, dancing and jumping up to the beat. She comes outside, and there is Randall, and he says, "Oh, is it too loud for you? You want me to turn it down?" And then he gets in the car and turns the volume up even louder. He says, "Wake up, little baby. It's time to play a game called Who's the Daddy? Which black man is the daddy?" And he's saying all these crazy things. He's saying your mama is a hoe and daddy knows it. And that's the blues, baby. I hope your black daddy is singing that one day. And Alice just runs into the house, and she just looks completely annoyed and exhausted with him. As everyone knows, I am not a fan of Alex, and anything that she gets, I think she deserves. It's just she just made a bad situation 100 times worse, in my opinion. The next three people we go to is Eddie, Esperanza, and Lushion. We back at the police station, and Esperanza goes into Eddie's interrogation room. She says, "Look at you sitting there like a criminal, like the criminal you are." He says, "Look at you looking like the sexy baby mama you are." He says that, "I see that trainer is working out well for you." She asks him, "What did you do, Edward? What did you do?" And then he answers, "Oh, I did a lot. I did a lot with you." She says that she hopes that you have a photographic memory because you're never going to touch me again. And then, and then he retorts by saying, "Every time that, you say that we're not going to do anything together, I'll come over there late at night and I'll get you to change your mind. She wants to know what he did. She's trying to get some information out of him. And she says that this is very serious. And he says, you know what's serious here? You and me. So why don't you take off your skirt and take off your clothes and we can put a show on, in front of the cameras for the FBI. Esperanza say, you know that we have a daughter together. And even though I hate the fact that you're the baby's father, we both need to think about what is best for her. And Edward says, I am thinking about my daughter. And then she says, oh, you're thinking about your daughter when you're robbing these drug dealers and doing all these horrible things? And then Eddie says, oh, I see what you're doing. You think I'm going to fall for your trap? I know Lucian sent you up in here to try to get some information on me, but I'm not going to fall for it. Esperanza thinks that he is dumb, but Ed tells her that Lucian is FBI and so is Steven. Esperanza thinks that the drugs have made him paranoid, and then they banter with each other some more. He says, "If you're not here to give me a piece of, a piece of her ass, then he says that you pretty much needs to get out of here." Esperanza wants him to tell the truth, and she mentions Andrew being missing, and once again he denies all knowledge about Andrew's disappearance. But I'm starting to wonder where Andrew is too. When are they ever gonna bring him back into the story? I know he can't be dead. Andrew's not dead. I know he's not. She tells him that you pretty much need to cooperate and tell them whatever they want to know so they can give you a lesser deal for the sake of our daughter. Then Edward challenges her parenting skills, saying that all she does is open her legs for every thug and drug dealer in Maxine. She says that she sleeps well knowing that she's a good parent. Edward says that, oh, you're a good parent, but you're trying to throw me up underneath the bus, trying to put the father of your child in jail. And she says that she isn't doing that. She says that there is a lot of evidence, a mountain of evidence that is on him and that he is going to jail, and she's trying to help him. Ed says that he is not fooled by her, and he pretty much says, if you're not here to sleep with me, you need to just pretty much leave. And that's exactly what she does. I mean, Eddie is not fooled by this. He can talk himself out of anything, and he's not fooled by any of it. She goes after she leaves the interrogation room. She goes outside. She talks to Lushion. She tells him that she wasn't able to get anything, and she pretty much goes on back to work. As I said before, I really like the writing for Eddie. I mean, his dialogue is just great. He's the best written character on the show, in my opinion, even though he's the villain and an unsavory character. He's written beautifully. So a thumbs up for that, Tyler. The next three people we go to is Lucian, Alex, and Natalie. Now, these scenes with Lucian really angered me. And I'll go into detail about that once I get to the end of the section. Lucian gets a call from Alex wanting his help with Randall. Lucian, wants, she asks for Lucian to do her a favor, and then Lucian, gets on her and tells her, you need to stop making everyone think that that baby is mine. Then she lies and said that it was Randall who said that, but we all know who said that. It was Alex who said that. She says that it was Randall and not her. And but Lucian is not believing that, and she does apologize. She says that she wants his help with Randall because he's blasting loud music outside of my door, and that she doesn't want to wake up the baby, and she knows that he is doing this on purpose. He says that he will roll through there later. Then he gets a call like a few seconds later from Natalie saying that she wants him to come home and talk about justice, and he politely brushes her off. Now, this is my thought on this. Natalie has been calling all night for him to come on home. Come home and talk about justice and what he said and the big revelation that he killed Ramsey. and he has been brushing her off all night long. She called him like twice or maybe even three times, and he has brushed her off at every turn. But then Alex calls one time for some loud music, and then he says he's gonna come on over there, and he does come over there. And this is what I'm talking about. What? Why did he cater to Alex's needs over his own fiance's needs? I didn't like that at all. Lucian lost some points with me in this episode, no doubt about it. The next two people we go to is Brad and Marcy. Brad drives up to see that Marcy does have a flat tire. He thought that it was all a ploy to upset Alex, but Marcy is telling the truth that she is truly stranded and she needed help, and there was really no one else for her to call. Brad examines the tire and he sees that it does have a nail in it. And as a person who has had many flat tires in her days, nails can get in those tires and they can make them go flat just like that. He asked her if she did this, on purpose, and she promises that she did not. I mean, and this is what really angers me about Brad. Marcy has not lied to him not one time. Yet he treats her like she is the deceitful one. Marcy hasn't lied to you, Alex has lied. So why is he treating her like she's the evil, wicked deceiver when that is not the truth at all? She has always been honest with him about her feelings, no matter what they are. She's always told him. She's always told him the truth. Marcy says, "Were you with her?" And Brad says yes, and that he is going back to her once he is done here. She wants to talk more about this, but apparently he does not. He just wants to fix the flat tire and get on out of there back to Alex because he is so hurt that she is so hurt. And he pretty much tells Marcy that pretty much don't call me this late at night and use up all your other options before you call me. She promises never to call him, that late at night, but it was an emergency. He says he's trying to make it work with Alex and that if she was his friend, he would want for him to be happy. And she says that she does want him to be happy, but Brad asks, just not with Alex. She promises that she won't call this late, and she has he moved back in, and he says that he has moved back in. She says, she thanks him for coming, and then he goes to fix the tire. I mean, it's just I'm just so against Alex in this. I really resent her for being angry about this. The reason that Marcy and Brad are so close is because Alex practically put the two of them together with her cheating and her lies and her expectation of automatic forgiveness. And I mean, so she can't really be too angry and too upset because she started this entire situation. The last scene of the night belongs to Randall, Lucian, Alex, and Natalie. Randall is dancing in the street, on the sidewalk in the street to the music when Lucian rolls up. Lucian tells, Randall to turn the music down, and Randall pretends not to hear. Lucian threatens him with prison time, but Randall is unmoved by the threat. Lucian eventually turns off the radio himself, and Lucian says, if you keep this up, you're going to find yourself in prison. Randall says, for what? And Lucian responds, because you're disturbing the peace and you're proving you're drunk in public and it's a drunken disorderly. But Randall says that he is not drunk at all. And he never really is. That personality just comes out in him naturally. It's not because he was drunk. I've never not once seen him drunk on the episode. He's not an alcoholic. Lucian threatens him again with prison, and Randall, mocks him, saying that, oh, there's a new sheriff in town. Randall says, keep, absolutely. And I'm here to, to keep the peace. And, he teases him, oh, you're here. There's a new sheriff in town, and he's here to keep the peace, and he's banging the ladies. And Lucian says, no, that is you. You're the one who cheated on your wife. And Randall, accuses him of being the baby's father, and Lucian denies it completely, saying that that is not his child. Randall then asks him who is the father of the baby. And we all know that it's Randall's baby. I know that it's Randall's baby. Everybody knows this, and I kind of wish that they hadn't put up yet another roadblock. I mean, Tyler Perry just admit that the father is Randall. Randall is the father, so let's just move this on already. Instead of putting up that doctor who faked those paternity tests. That's what happened. That blonde doctor, Dr. Ralston, faked those test results because Alex went running to her for help. That's exactly what's happened. Randall is the father of that baby, and not Lucian. Lucian, is very angry with him, and he asks him, "What is this? What are you doing? What's wrong with you?" And Randall, responds saying that I'm trying to figure out who the baby is, who the baby's father is. Lucian accuses him of cheating on his wife with no remorse and pretty much calls him a sociopath. Lucian, warns him to stop this because you're going down the wrong road again. Randall asks, what am I doing? What am I doing that's so wrong? And then Lucian says, you're using every opportunity and every chance you get to drive that woman crazy. Making it seem like Alex is some poor victim of Randall, when in actuality it's the other way around. Randall, as crazy as he is, has never really hurt Alex. Alex is the one that's been trying to push him out, and I mean, she even went so far as to kill him, or at least try to kill him. Randall says, "Oh, you're just protecting that whore now, aren't you?" And Lucian warns him again to just leave that woman alone. Randall says, "Or what? What are you gonna do?" And Lucian tells him, "Oh, you'll find out." Randall says, "Oh, I'm just shaking in my slippers." I mean, that outlandish aspect of his personality is really slipping out. I mean, he has no fear of Lucian or of anything when he's in psycho Betty mode, as Kenneth Stallings like to say. That's what he calls Randall's alter ego, Psycho Betty. So check out Kenneth Stallings' channel, and I'll leave a link in the description. He does wonderful reviews. Thank you, Kenny. Lucian, talks about what happened down by the lake. And he says, didn't you learn anything from what happened that day? And Randall says, no, I didn't learn a thing. It just pissed me off even further. Randall tells Lucian that it was Alex that set up that entire situation. And Lucian, just brushes it off and says, well, I don't blame her for doing it at all. Randall asks, aren't you supposed to be an officer of the law? And Lucian, tells him again just to stay away from her. Well, I mean, I think it's pretty hard to kind of stay away from her, seeing as they live right next door. But, you know, Randall, again calls Alex's babies. He says, "Oh, Alex is your baby mama. You're just protecting your baby mama again, aren't you?" And Lucian says, "Just stay away from her," and I mean it. Then Lucian goes into Alex's house, and Lucian says that you must ignore Randall. She's asking for help. She's asking what can she do about this, and Lucian is just saying you need to ignore him, which is true, which is the best thing because a person like him needs attention, and the best way to get back at them is to just ignore them. She is worried that Randall is going to go to the police, and with the theory of her setting up the attack by the lake. Lucian asked her point blank, "Did you do that?" And she reluctantly says, yes, I did do it. Lucian says, you can go to jail for that. She's afraid that she may go to jail for it, and Lucian says, oh, you can go to jail for it. And I'm hoping that what happened down by the lake gets back to Alex. She shouldn't just get away with that. He tells her pretty much that yeah, he tells her that maybe it pleases him more to see her out of jail. It pleases Randall more to see her out of jail because he enjoys harassing her every day. He doesn't want to see her locked up. He just wants to antagonize her and bully her. Now, outside, in Randall's own yard, he's watched the two of them go into the house together, and then he sends Natalie a text message saying that your man is over there with Alex right now. Alex, back in the house, Alex apologizes to Lucian for everyone thinking that the baby is his. But that was really her fault. She never should have said that. She says that she is nervous, and then he brings up Natalie and saying that she is not the kind of person, not the kind of woman that you want to be, that wants to be asked those questions. Natalie, comes from her house on the outside, and she walks over and she sees Randall, and he starts taunting her, saying that, oh, they've been in there a long time and they probably have been humping like rabbits. He says, and she doesn't want to hear it, she doesn't want to believe it, but she's over there anyway. And she goes, and he tells her to look in the window if you don't believe me. And as she's looking through the window, you can see Alex and Lucian hugging each other. She thanks him for coming over to check on her, but in Natalie's eyes, she sees it as a betrayal. And in some ways, it kind of is a betrayal because, as I said before, Natalie had been calling Lucian all night, and he's just been blowing her off at every turn. And one call from Alex, and he goes running. She sees it as a betrayal. She's hurt and upset. She's trying to, keep it together, but Natalie sees the hug, and she is hurt and upset, and that is how the episode ends. Thank you very much for watching my video. I'm not as ordered as I normally am in this video because it's just been a long day and it took a very long time to write this up. But thank you very, very much for watching my video and staying with me during this time, and I will try to make a better and more detailed review for the next time. It's just been a rough couple of days with this, and this show is very hard to review, and it feels very shallow, and it's very hard to review for me, but I am going to review the entire season as I promised. And it's rough. This show is kind of hard to review. Other shows that I like, such as Game of Thrones or The Haves and the Have-Nots, I really enjoy making those reviews. This show has always been a struggle for me, but I am doing the best I can with it, and I appreciate you sticking with me and watching the video. Thank you so much. Come back next week for my next episode, and the episode will be entitled Enemy Secrets. My MVP of the night is Marcy and Ian. I do like Marcy. She's always been my favorite character. I'm glad that she wasn't throwing herself as much as she was onto Brad. I mean, I want to see her move on from this, and move on from Brad, but I know that she's hurting inside, and I just want for her to get better. So she will be my MVP of tonight, and she will be in my thumbnail. My other MVP is Ian. I'm just liking Ian. I love the fact that he's a brand new character, and I'm very interested in seeing what's going to become of him during all of this. He's being brought right into Kelly's storyline, and I'm very interested in him, and I like him, and I want to see what he's going to be about in the story. So for that reason, I have also made him my MVP, and I'll try to put a few more pictures of him, a couple of pictures of him at the end of my video. So check that out. Thank you so very much for watching my video. If you like my video, make sure you to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will be back next week. And I hope that the episode is better next week as well. Enjoy your life as I do, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Thank you so much.